day. It is October 21st, Wednesday, October 21st, and your daily financial news. A couple of quick things before we get into the news of October 21st. First, I want to highlight a couple of very inspirational interviews that we had yesterday on this channel. First, we interviewed a Navy officer who talked about how he went on his financial independence journey. It starts with assets in Puerto Rico and continues in Jacksonville. Lots of very inspirational stuff in that discussion with keys on savings, putting away savings with each promotion, things of that nature. So really want you to check that out for anybody who has a full-time job and really for anybody with kids who are just about to enter the rat race. I thought there was a lot of stuff in that particular interview. Then, for those of you that are looking at a side hustle, we interviewed a teacher who got started in wholesaling just last year, January of 2019. Talks about his business, how he went through kind of 3 months proving it out, right? What I called the proof of concept. He then got deal flow. But then he had a change in his business and he actually found success and more transactions and yes, more money by joint venturing. I think there's a lot of subtle things in that interview. You have to check it out. I thought both of those interviews were awesome yesterday and I took something from both. So check them out. And again, remember, this is daily, this is live. Nothing's recorded and edited here. It is what it is. So do me a favor, if you like live content, you like it every day, hit subscribe, give me a thumbs up. That's always greatly appreciated. And now for the question of the day, I would love to hear from you. So tomorrow's a big day for me or for us. The new unemployment claims come out. And if you listen to last Thursday's show, which would have been what? The 15th, you might want to go check that out. And what I would tell you is we're going to find out if the trend is validated. Last week, there was clearly a break from the floor of about 840 new claims, which is still horrible. It popped to 898. The unemployment claims data is very noisy. There can be week-to-week adjustments that cause upticks. But here's the deal. This is the question I want to know. And if you're watching live, you may need to put this in after I stop because I'd love to see the running list. If the over-under is 898, what do we get tomorrow? And we're going to talk about it probably first on the tomorrow's live show. If 898 is the number, which was last Thursday's print, you again can go listen to October 15th and see it. Is it going to be above 898 and thus validate a trend off the bottom? Or is it going to prove noisy and we are going to be back down towards the 840 or 850 level, kind of revalidating the floor? I'd love to hear from you. I'll try to remember to give you my thoughts at the end here, but I'd love to know over 898 tomorrow, new unemployment claims, or under. I just love to see what people are thinking. All right, so on to the news of the day. Lots of earnings came out in the last 24 hours. Again, some of these things are change in behavior that we need to watch that I'm always looking for. AutoNation, first one off the board. AutoNation reported the best quarter they've ever seen. What they are seeing essentially is consumers are buying used cars, and they reported $2.38 a share on an expectation of $1.65. Significant beat, top and bottom line raised going forward. And what this really tells me is mass transit is in trouble, right? This is something we first saw in the China data. If we were paying attention, we talked about China car sales probably 90 days ago. It might have been 120 days ago. And I pontificated that this might come to the US, and it has. Again, auto sales have gone up, specifically used cars, because there's not a lot of building going on or not enough. So a couple of things in the car market. Once the manufacturers get to cranking, you are going to see new cars be sold in droves. Next up, Winnebago. Again, record quarter, $1.45 on an expectation of 93 cents. Winnebago, big RV, kind of entertainment vehicles, kind of the perfect storm for them. A lot of these companies, I'm wondering if we are going to have a Netflix problem, which is actually the next company. Netflix talked about in their earnings call yesterday how demand was pulled forward when this pandemic or health crisis started. When I look at Winnebago, I go, what else could go right for you? Right? Space is good. People are nervous about flying. People like the idea of going to national parks with them and their family, thus staying in a 3, 4, 5, 6 people in an RV. I mean, can you imagine a better setup to sell a lot of RVs? And I just can't. So, what happens March, June, October of next year when we finally get past this damn thing? Have they created their own air pocket? I don't know. These are things we have to think about, right? Stock, sector, market risk. Some of these companies will be creating their own air pocket, and Winnebago kind of feels like one to me. Netflix, we just talked about it. A huge miss. They actually exceeded on revenue, but missed on earnings. And really, the disappointment was subscriber growth, net subscriber growth of about 2.2 million, roughly 50% of that in Asia, which is a focus for them. But what I have to figure out for Netflix, and it was so important, I did a video on it last night. But basically, did the cuties drama that really spun up in the U.S. predominantly cause enough people to cancel their Netflix subscriptions out of revolt? They didn't call it out. I didn't see it highlighted anywhere, but I'm thinking there was a connection or correlation there. I could be wrong, but if I am wrong, then what we see is Netflix demand creating their own air pocket. Right? They pulled forward lots of demand that would have shown up later. They're there now. So again, do we have a story problem with Netflix, or is there a sector risk? These are all things I think about all the time when I'm looking at them. Snap reported a great number, actually surprised with a profit. Again, this is a company we highlighted over the weekend as one to watch. Snap really benefited from the Facebook boycott. They didn't say it explicitly, but they certainly hinted at enough to realize that advertisers were coming to their platform instead of Facebook there month one of this quarter. They were expected to lose 5 cents, so a surprise profit has, I'm sure, sent their stock up huge. We will see if they can continue or if they just had a perfect storm inside of a quarter where the dominant advertiser had a large boycott and they got some windfall there. So we shall see. iRobot, Roomba, surprising number. I don't really look at them a lot, but it caught me on their earnings. They earned $2.58 on an expectation of $1. What the hell are these analysts doing? They're off by 150%. It's just nuts. So again, like Winnebago, Roomba has probably had a lot of demand generated because people are at home. They want something to come and clean their carpets or floors. Kids are at home. Messes are bigger. Kind of interesting. So that's it for the story stocks. There were others, but those are the ones that I noted this morning. Other things going on today. Looks like Disneyland is going to be shut down for a lot longer. I think this is just sad. Disneyland is an outdoor park, and there's only a little bit of time left before it just gets too cold and too wet. So we could see Disneyland in LA shut down for over a year once this thing is all said and done. And I don't know about you, but eventually that park, I would think the roller coasters and all that stuff, they must be running them because otherwise the roller coasters would just get wrecked from sitting idle. But it just really shows how Gavin is the only politician I really name. His just picking winners and losers and not trusting people to do the right thing. So I really don't like the fact that he tries to legislate good behavior. I think that's overreaching, and he does lots of things. So that just bother me. There is another energy deal today. We talked about, I think it was ConocoPhillips buying, I already forgot, somebody else for like $9 billion earlier this week. We have another one. Pioneer is buying Parsley. Again, two companies that I don't really know, but again, they are in the energy sector. What we said with the last deal is these are going to happen. And again, they happen for the same reason. Pioneer is going to buy Parsley. They're going to consolidate, lower headcount, lower costs, try to get through. And just like the last deal, it is 100% stock, no cash involved. These companies are conserving cash, They are trying to stockpile the ability to get through this. But again, expect more consolidation in energy, just like this. And again, very, very, stock oriented because they want to conserve cash. Mortgage demand is it's actually fallen 7% over the last 4 weeks, which is, I don't know, I guess interesting. But realize year on year, it is up 26%. And something else to think about is a year ago, the 30-year average mortgage rate was 4%. Today it's 3%. That makes a huge difference in payment and about 10% of purchase price, roughly. So again, I believe that purchases are done on payments, not on price, unlike all the other talking heads on YouTube. So we talked about GM rolling out the Hummer yesterday, and I don't know. Did you see it? What'd you think? I got to tell you, I was shocked at the sticker price. I mean, I don't remember the Hummer being, I remember the Hummer being expensive last time. I think it was like 70 grand. I did not expect them to announce a $120,000 vehicle. I mean, damn, 120 grand for an electric Hummer? I guess I'm just too cheap to want to do something like that. But man, that's crazy. We have a Fed president talking about the stimulus, just like we are. We are saying, she's actually saying it was Lael Braillard, K-shaped recovery, very uneven. The bottom portion of the K needs help. It is tragic what Congress is doing. Couldn't agree more. Back to talking about some other businesses. The airlines are asking for a bailout. Well, hotels, we've talked about this before. There's a new survey out that 33% of hotels over the next 6 to 9 months could simply turn their keys into their lender. There are a lot of hotels already in special servicing, which is the first step in the foreclosure process, if you will. But yeah, 33% of hotel operators handing in their keys. That is that's a number that'll wake you up. And again, when that happens, the entire debt structure, and there's a huge ripple effect from there. Continuing on the theme of industries that need a bailout other than the airlines, how about AMC Theater? They are basically saying bankruptcy is on the table. They are warning common shares. At the same time, they're selling common, which is very odd. Right? They're looking to sell 15 million shares of common to raise cash. In their perspective, they're saying there's a high likelihood of bankruptcy and just wiping it out. Yeah, very, very, very tragic. What else do we have? The AMC Theater. So you know how everybody talks about airlines and airline travel is down 70%? Well, that's actually remarkably good. Here are AMC's number year on year, right? This quarter versus a year ago. AMC Theater did $1.32 billion in top line revenue. $1.32 billion. Do you know what they did this quarter? This last fiscal quarter? $119 million. For those that can't do the math, I did it for you. That is a 91% drop in top line revenue. But yet we think airlines need bailout. Wow, 91% drop. And then the last thing I saw, a wire, I have not read it, but I thought it was interesting. PayPal is looking to facilitate Bitcoin or crypto as a form of payment between individuals and their businesses. So it is really surprising to see that happening. But again, PayPal is stepping up. Crypto is growing. So it's going to be interesting. So back to the question at hand. Remember, over under 898 was 898. New unemployment claims just a blip, and the data was dirty. And tomorrow we're going to be back at 840. I'm going to take the over. You probably guessed that. I've been calling for Q4 to be very painful, and I called the uptick last week. I'm going to call it this week. We get over 900,000. I don't think it's the huge jump. I think that's the following week, but we could be at 908, 910, 912, something like that. Again, approaching a million. I think next week is where we break a million because I called that early in October, a million new claims, and that is, that if you that just crushes you to think what's going on out there. So that's what I got for you today. Again, I have actually 3 interviews. Yesterday was very inspirational. A teacher replacing his income, a financial so a sailor earning financial independence. So check those out. We have some good ones coming up today. You have a wonderful day. Remember, subscribe, thumbs up, tell your friends every day, 7:30 live. Take care.